Guys, what's going on? Crazy market dynamics. Excuse me. There seems to be some activity over there in Iran, and what you're seeing now is a massive sell-off. We had a print signal here on a previous report for Bitcoin, and ever since we've obviously got this potential area, which is around $64,000. Now, some of the prices I'm seeing today are absolute generational and may stay that way because if it's a bear market, let everyone accumulate properly. The industry is not going to die, but what's going to happen is there's going to be a great big reset, and we are seeing that already. What I also saw today in a previous update is large funds like Dragonfly Capital, right? Kind of like dumping tokens. And this is obviously an anonymous sign. But if you follow everything we talked about in the last few days, anything from the new Fed chair with regards to gold and silver, the catalyst that could potentially recover Bitcoin, to the gold update. I mean, this is a gold update that we did last week. I hope you can hear me, guys. I'm not sure. How coming down to the buying range said W7. Yes. Just turn this bad boy down. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, many projects will come down to their price. I mean, I remember telling someone to wait for Toshi, and they were like, "What are you talking about? Toshi is now in a buy range. Look at this collapse of Casper." And I do expect, I mean, if Casper doesn't hold, the April low, I do expect to see a generational entry here as well. But overall, I mean, look at the market cap being wiped away. This is quite significant. Tau, I would probably say at this moment in time, perhaps maybe we need to see how deep it's gone into the value zone. You have to wait. I mean, look, patience is going to be rewarded long term. And certainly the industry is not going to die. I mean, there will be crypto projects that die. But what we have is 190, 189, 190. Now, Tau, if you remember the last crash back in April, right? So we had a 175 range, but it is definitely in the demand zone now. Like how long it stays up here is anyone's guess. It all depends on Bitcoin. But if you are interested in Tau specifically, I would just look. If you're holding Tau, if you've been accumulating Tau in the long term, then obviously this is a great opportunity just to wait. I see if we get an exit below this level here, I say 160. I guess that's all I'm waiting for because Tau is going to likely hold this range. But what does it mean to you? I mean, 189, 160. Just really depends on how long it stays up here. The lowest we've done was around 160 previously. But Tau must hold. If not, it goes into a spectacular price decline. I do see an opportunity here for the long term because Tau itself is just not like any other project, right? Like limited and everything else. I'm waiting for. I mean, look at Sui. Sui is yet to dip below and close or go towards this October level. There's going to be either way generational buys. But what's causing the panic? A couple of things. One, we had the pump based on the since January, obviously since the lows. But essentially, there's more uncertainty in the market regarding the Gulf situation right now. I can see that being, of course, being the weekend, and that being a major time for exchanges and market makers to manipulate the price. But Sui hasn't dipped below $1 yet. We had a brief, like literally we've hit that dollar mark and then it shot back up. But really what I'm looking for is just deep value. You should not deploy any stable coins unless A is your automatic buy zone, right? Or B, you determine that this asset is going to be worth X amount in the future and you've got a long skin in the game. Or if you want to wait for further confirmation, because right now we are in a situation where not everything is kind of falling the same. And if we look at some of these, I mean, look, Chainlink is below $10. That tells you everything we need to know, right? Going back all the way, there's going to be great generational opportunities. I mean, look, Chainlink here, I've marked up this price, which is quite significant, $8.44. And this is being now in the range. This is like FTX levels. So fundamentally speaking, I mean, look at Chainlink here below $10. We are seeing the liquidation October low was 770, right? So here's where we are now at around 770. Either way, guys, I mean, look, you either see this bear market happening for crypto as the end of the entire industry, or you take advantage and DCA into your conviction place. But the low point for Chainlink, I mean, Chainlink is a blue chip asset, right? It's a market indicator. This is how absolutely bear markets should be behaving right now. We are dropping and we are falling like a stone. But rather than seeing what you could do or what you could have done previously, I think this is the time for you to, or for us, all of us collectively, to kind of look at this and say, where do we go from here? Because one of the reasons I love looking at Chainlink, I held Chainlink in the last cycle, right? And one of the things we're seeing here is this was the bear market lows for Chainlink from the 2021 cycle. So if you see this range, we were ranging between where we are now, right, to basically lows of around $5. So this was like in a ping pong situation between $5 and $8. It's a great time to be alive, in my opinion. I think this is the ultimate buy opportunity, and hopefully we will be able to succeed long term looking at this. But rather than, I mean, look, AVAX as well just announced an ETF. I sit below 10 bucks. So if we get this, look at this, AVAX in 2023, 2022 bear market, boom. But we had a low of $8. And look how close we are to it now. I mean, this is absolute insanity. And this may not even be the bottom. But if you look at, for example, and I'm looking at blue chips first, just to give you a cue of how these altcoins have been running now for the best part of the last 4 years. If you look at this, AVAX is pretty much in the bear markets of, I mean, you could take the AVAX price all the way back to July 16, 2020, 2021. So this is a bear market, guys. I mean, regardless of MicroStrategy, I mean, average is 76,000 now. Michael Saylor has been buying for the last 2 weeks, but ultimately, this is it's the beginning of the end. Sorry, it's the end of the of that so-called 4-year, I mean, 5-year cycle is what we're looking for right now. But to be honest, it could well be a brand new beginning, right? So MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, buy. Sorry, let me just go back and forth. BTC buys, purchases. Here we go. So rationally speaking, they have an average cost now. So they've acquired on the, basically just last week, he bought more at a, he's done, what was it? Yeah, 90K. So look, even they dollar cost average into this thing, you know, that's why it's such an unbelievable gain. So Saylor's last 2 buys, We look at this. So 26th, that was 90K, right? And they bought 2,000 Bitcoin. And then the 20th, they paid 95. Ouch. But it don't, for on the grand scheme of things for them, all of these January buys have been averaging 1st of January, so $90,000. So yeah, man, that's what's up. So that's what's up. Interestingly, if you look at the Casper's let me just refresh this. This is friggin' nice. Come back to 500 million, please. Come back down some more. 800 million. I mean, listen, crypto Twitter has completely lost its it has lost insane amount of shit over the last 24 hours. So here's an important one here. Holding Tau without understanding the subnet is incomplete. Investing in subnets without understanding incentives is reckless, right? Dynamic Tau. This is kind of like I'd say it's true. It's probably a good time to really sort out the assets. But let me first and foremost, what is the likelihood of this happening? What does the market know beyond drills? Because today there were a couple of strikes or potential. There were few buildings that caught fire magically today, and some people were saying it's sabotage. I think this is the key fear driver now. Explosions reported in Tehran. The government said it's basically it is basically gas based. Israel denied involvement, but anything that could potentially kick off here is going to have significant ramifications for oil. So let's have a look. I mean, if you've not been following these developments, I think it's ultimately it's key to wait and follow some of these developments. But let's have a look at the latest from the Gulf. Let's see if we get what's good, brother. Something is going on that could shock markets, in my opinion. Yeah, Casper is a beautiful play, bro. I think Yeah, so this is obviously an active situation. It's quite fluid. There is a lot of worry in the region, and that could kick off. But what it's done is it has invited us for a generational buys or generational entries. We talked about Casper here. So if you look at CAS USDT on being on major support levels, right? You can see here this printed there's a sell signal here Friday, was it Thursday 22nd, right? This was a small pump, but in my opinion, what would be a generational Casper Casper buy? I mean, this is look how strong this level is, significantly strong. What you need is rationalized fear, right? That's what you need in times like this. You need to. Oh, you guys can't hear me. Oh, do. That's crazy, man. Can you hear me? No sound at all. Okay, cool. Okay, let's have a look. Sorry, lads, can you hear me? Can you? We can hear you, but you can't hear the sound on the screen. Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Let's run it back because I think that was quite important, guys. Let me just stop sharing. Entire window. Yeah, that's cool. Can you hear me now? Yeah, wicked stuff. Yeah, thank you, guys. Look, all we were doing there was potentially looking at the situation that we've had with Iran. Of course, there was just a tactical explanation as to what was going on, and overall, let's see where did the thing go? Yeah, this thing is frozen, but that's cool. So those are the escalating tensions between the US and Iran could be a factor. The other factor could be the risk off sentiment continues despite the fact that gold obviously has retraced as well, investors fleeing into cash. It was the end of the month, massive profit taken on gold. And where did my screen go? Uh, do, 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 do. So that could be another factor as well. If I'm still up here, guys, by the way, I have no idea where, if you can see the chart on. Let's go here. Street. Yeah, cool. So yeah, if there's a major war, expect further friggin'. So yeah, it's been no let up since Trump took office. To be fair, but I think this is going to be a great wealth transfer, in my opinion. I think I think a time will come when you look back into 2026 and 2025 and say, look, man, that's when I made my long-term convictions. Um, so let's go here. Let's get to this. Let me just bring out this other chart. All right, cool. Anyway, let's continue. I can't really see anything that's going on here. But the other thing as well is, has this been dropping? Absolutely not. Stuck at 41. We need this to absolutely collapse. I mean, it's even saying it's 43 now. I really don't understand how it's even possible for this thing to maintain um, where it's at 43. What makes you think it's at 43? Free, you know. So days since last alt season, 127. Yeah, this has to fall to 25. There we are. Got you back finally. So yeah, so look, at the end of the day, guys, there's a lot that's going on. But bro said, look, bro said, I don't care if it goes to bro said, I don't care if it goes to what did he say? If it goes more down, I'm going for the long period. Absolutely. Look, in terms of like we talked about CAS many times, and we talked about the fact that it's a coin that has slightly limited. In fact, there's hardly anything going on in terms of the overall TVL aspect of it, the overall the overall network activity. Most of it is actually due to mining. So, like Peter is saying here, uh, it's too late to sell. Yeah, DCA lower. I mean, look, if you were going to sell, there were several factors leading up to selling. The best time to sell was August or October, right? Particularly August. July, August 2025 was probably the top for most altcoins, and then ever since then, it's been this kind of thing. But I would say, look, man, if we come back to a like, for example, I'd love to buy more Casper at 1 cent. I'd love to buy Tau closer to $100, right? It's already entered below 200, and build my build the bags. I always talk about, my father always used to tell me, man, plant your seeds, man, make your moves. You don't achieve anything in life unless you've got a strategic vision of it, and that those are facts. So what I would say is, if, for example, Tau, like people talk about, like stuff like like Tau, I would say this is now, look, we've already come to 186. Fine, I've got enough of it, but I am willing to sit and I am willing to chill to see if this multi-year demand zone is broken. One, two, and three, and previously four. So this is a crazy 4 year multiple time over. It's actually reversed from this price. It is a fantastic buy at 189, but it could be even better at 125, or even better still if it breaks that. Then of course we go lower. But I don't expect the slide to continue. Why? Because liquidity, the Fed situation, rotation out of gold. These are all the things we need to see, especially on market open. How far down is Casper going to go potentially? I think Cas is going to look. Well, let's find out. Let's find out rationally, because sometimes irrationalized fear is worse than anything else that can happen to you in these markets, right? So this is where we are right now. We are at a massively important level. I know you hear that all the time whenever cryptocurrency is at a certain price, but make no mistake, the importance of this Casper level cannot be underestimated. It was a support resistance back in 2023. Then it became flipped to support back in July 2023. Came back and tested this level back in September 2023, and this was the platform. This was the basis where Casper went absolutely ballistic, right? And then that move from here ended up being, I think this was a 400%, 383% move, right? So you could argue that if cash breaks this level, where do we go next? There's only one other natural level below this. Yeah, we could see the 2.7, but it could be all the way down to 1.6. So a range between these two levels, I think, is realistic. And if you're going to DCA, look, most people don't understand the damage you can do if you realistically set your orders below to these, lower levels. And most people work anyway. People get paid either weekly or monthly, right? So dollar cost averaging. I mean, I was talking to again somebody from our group last night there, Muzzy, and he was like, he was bagging. I think it was like 60,000 uh, beam for 120, $30. And he was like, man, I just throw small bits and pieces at it. No one's going to catch the bottom, and definitely the market's not going to collapse. But what they've done is suppress a lot of the bullish aspects of crypto, and liquidity is not there. The federal, the Fed liquidity injections are not there yet. We've just announced, we just got a new Fed chair. So rest of 2026, let gold cool down, let silver and metals play out. I think the natural rotation, when you consider the difference in market size. But if you are holding or looking to buy cash, I would say watch this level get blitzed, and if it does, if this level holds, because we know this is a multi-year level, very, very strong level for Casper. But if we break below this, again, we tested this back in. So if you look at the dip back in April 2025, you'd see that this level has never been. We've never come to this level. April 25, April 8, Casper bottomed at 5.3, and then of course the September bottom here was around, I believe, September, November. So November was the bottom here. And of course, we've continued to slide down ever since. And legends. Can't wait for virtuals to hit 10 cents. Man, I remember that one of the most epic things I've ever posted in our Discord was fucking it was virtuals at 4 cents. Actually, it was unbelievable. And some people missed out. Some people missed out on that one, but that was the craziest drop ever. But if we come back to that level, we'll take a look at virtuals as well. In the coming years, I reckon you can stake and live off the yields. Big facts. There was a story out today or a few days ago that they started to just give custody of Bitcoin in a staking mechanism and live off the yield. And that's probably a lot of these, these big funds like your Dragonfly Capitals, who've actually emptied their coffers. These guys have sold a huge amount of monad. But what they have is also tokens held. So you can see here that some of the big funds either hold no tokens or they hold few, right? So you can see here, the Dragonfly is one of them, and a lot of it is going through to staking. So that's been interesting. But yeah, you're 100% right. People will live off the yields that they make, and if we let's have a look at some of these movements. What's going on here? Blacks out of DEX outflow, not surprised. Fully diluted $20 million market cap. I mean, it's nothing, right? Peanuts. Fresh wallets. Sometimes you start to see some of these tokens getting money flow. Sigma, yep, distribution there, 100K. Fresh wallets, wrapped staked ETH. Yep, that would be kind of a lot of staking going on at the moment. Let's see if we can spot anything else with the smart money here. Tokens, top tokens held by smart money. So it's funny, like Coinbank continues to be held, but that's more of a single smart trader. But the base stuff is decent. Clanger is, what is it got? 43K, 30-day outflow, 7 days. People are buying it, 24 hours. People are still buying that. 37,000, 5 traders, $36 million market cap. And this is what the big wallets are doing on chain, right? River, White Whale got slammed. They dump it. I mean, you can see people DCAing into pump fund, which is funny because as the price drops, you start to see some wallets coming in. Because look, the smart money knows, literally, they understand this game. I mean, the amount of times you see them doubling down on certain coins. Let's see what's going on with Zcash. So price is falling, accumulation is absolutely steady. Top kind of 100 wallets are buying more, increasing their balance, and there's a 55% increase on smart wallets. Real valuable information in times like this. Public figures, it still has 5,000 tokens given to public figures. See who these are, right? And that kind of happened on January the 7th. You can see here, they've obviously initiated a new marketing campaign. So if you look at this, all these bad boys getting these tokens. Soul Big Brain. Don't know who you are, mate. But there are a few, yeah, KOL wallets and stuff like that. But I suppose that's probably a push to their marketing, from their marketing department. Other things we can actually see. Let's see, who's this? Who sold? Yeah, this guy's probably got rid of it. Let's have a look at the chains as well, how chains are suffering right now. Solana, what's the outflow saying? The BNB chain is garbage, to be fair. I hate that. Sold down. Base is actually holding, let me see, what's Base actually holding the transactions? Change over the last 24 hours. I think Base is an obvious one, guys, even in a bear market, right? Because what you need in a bear market is market intelligence. And I think Base has written its course for the next wave of liquidity. I think on times like this, when everybody's fearful, you just need to understand what chains money's going to and what chains money's flowing out of. Active addresses on Base are up, so 2 million now. Transactions are decent, 63 million transactions. Of course, that's up. And chain fees are up 96% despite the market conditions. So Base is going to be a beast, man. And I could only imagine when they drop a token, how crazy that token's going to be. So Base is ultimately one of the best ones to watch. Daily active address changes. Let's have a look. 24-hour change from Metas, Stellar. I mean, the Stellar would always rack up stacks. But what we've seen is how is activity changing across different chains? Base, Ethereum, and Solana as the 3 leading chains. But what you see here, Solana's actual active addresses have gone up, whilst Ethereum have dropped and base have dropped slightly as well. You'd expect that. Let me see if we get any of these bad boys. Virtuals. Yeah, let's have a look at virtuals actually. Virtuals. I'm still unwell, guys, and it's actually virtual USDT. Gonna get some of my vibe back here. Yeah, the downtrend continues, of course, naturally, but we have price falling, we have volume falling, we have RSI bottoming along with the market. We've tapped this blue line that I've had drawn here for months. And for now, I suspect, yeah, this is the key line. But if you look at the October candle, is always kind of key, right? You've got to look at a lot of some cryptos have already closed out their October levels. So if we mark that out, so your next movement, should we break this level again, key level here for Virtuals Protocol, going back to the April low is not too far from where we are now. It's kind of like a 50% halfway point, and that would be another key level. So if I mark the April low, so pretty much, I mean, if the major level here, if you're waiting for Virtuals Protocol, wait and see what happens at the, between kind of 55, 50, 58 to about 40 cents. I think that's going to be the key level. If it loses that, then we are happy days. We will be able to get a crazy amount in. And of course, the candle here is that October candle. So Virtuals Protocol right now, even as it is, to be honest, like I think Peter said 10 cents. Yeah, Keita was, Keita was mad. I mean, to be honest, Keita was insane, bro. Casper does have great technology. Casper's technology is second to none. Builder activity and marketing is a completely different story. I agree with you, bro. Yeah, Patriot said, yo, big up Patriot, man. What's good, brother? Yeah, the market is effing exhausting. But I look, if you think about need to invest in my wardrobe. Lads, another one that I would watch is, of course, after Tau, Neo Protocol is the obvious one. If you had to decide between one of the two, I would still go with Tau. But Neo Protocol had a massive sell signal here, coming all the way back in 22nd of November. It hasn't really recovered from that. And trend-wise, I mean, you have smashed through the October low, which is here. Neo Protocol below $1 would be a great buy. I just have a feeling it will kind of. So this was your October candle, and it's absolutely torn through that. Say is now officially below one of the key levels. So many of you are probably looking at Say. Say is going to fast close this line. This is the October candle. I expect Say to fill this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's been in since September the 25th. So that's when it printed the sell signal. And so far, no sign of life. 8 cents. Again, they've done a lot of marketing this week. I saw stuff on X always take the stuff you see on X with a pinch of salt. But yeah, I agree with you, Peter. Being in rush is send it down further, man. Ban the yard. Bro said 10 cents. Nah, 10 cents is a typo. Listen, I would love it if we get that kind of discount, man. The thing is, it's good to have a short list of well-researched projects, and the rest is academic, right? But yeah, 100%. I'm in the same boat as you, bro. I wanna freeze 7 generations in the future with what I'm about to make whenever the market gets what it's right again. Native. So they've put out a statement here warning people about so this is say, right, USDC native holders to swap their native stablecoins ahead of the planned upgrade, but this is all the way back in January. 30-day average volume is 64 million, and the current market cap, hold on a second, so Casper now is at 800 million, which is brilliant. Let's have some more. Let's have a look at Say. I'd be surprised if Say is not, yeah, $500 million. Okay? Now, this obviously calls trading volume, yeah, bots and stuff, no problem. But yeah, 75% down for the year. But if you look at the let's have a look at Sui. Sui is one that I'm watching very closely. Market cap still whopping 4 billion, but when you look at Sui long term, I think it would be one of those 100 million plus, fully diluted 10 billion. Trading volume is still not bad compared to the market cap. So there's a lot of probably wash trading going on. I mean, I don't know who's trading a $1.4 billion. It's gonna be insane. I don't know who's trading that, but I think this one is going to be incredibly good long term. And now this price here has to be broken. Like, I would love to see Sui just briefly dip below this and hold it for a bit. And it's the same thing, you know. Sui's candle was at 58 cents. 58 cents was the level. Yeah, 58. It is the candle now. October, it should have gone way. Yeah, here's the candle. So the candle was 57 cents. So simply below $1. But look, at the end of the day, there are levels above that, right? This was a mass liquidation. But this dollar level is going to be key for Sui. And if Sui breaks that, then boy, oh boy, we'll have a good few months accumulating this. Playboy said, I've given up on the cycle. We'll have to recover the next cycle. DXB. Oh, we're in a bear market. Oh, bro, we've been in a bear market now for the best part of the long term. When it comes to, if you talk about altcoins in the traditional sense, then we have not made any significant improvements to the real value of these these altcoins. So I guess, yeah, of course, most altcoins are down proportionately. and we are now waiting to kind of see how this plays out. Again, struggling to believe there must be some kind of a Bitcoin dominance breakdown while the price of Bitcoin has broken down, because this is now remaining at 43. So, where we need to be is at towards the bottom of these levels for true, like I'll put my house money kind of accumulation. Yeah, for a very long time. Facts. Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. If you look at this, so this is it. I mean, pretty much the chart you're kind of referring to here is basically, let's go to the weekly. My geezer, you don't need trends for this. This has been 2017, 2021, and now 2025, 2026. This is the October dump. Not even that brought us in to this tap level, even though you could argue that we technically had a small hit there. But overall, this has been our bull market so far for altcoins. And if this is 2021, this is December 2020, and you can see it made a move of, this was like a crazy, this went up like 4 or 5x. And in 2017, this was up nearly 6x. We go back to this level here. So ultimately, 200 moving hour, yeah, it's at 56.60K. Yeah, we could be heading right there, and this will bring down the value of the altcoins even further. Cave said, I think we are in a pure manipulation of crypto. Yeah, 100%. But if you think about it, bro, like if you look at silver and gold, right? If they can manipulate a $15 trillion worth of assets, I'm telling people, man, look, when silver tops, it falls aggressively. And even recently, we talked about gold, right? So if you look at gold, and if you see the chart that I shared the other day, we were talking about 1970, I think 71 to, if we go back here. Yeah, so this is what I was sharing, man. Look, 30% corrections are normal. Gold also loves to go to psychological levels, right? It goes to specifically the same kind of like, it'd go 400, 500, 600, whatever, 1,000, or halves in between, but it loves to go to psychological levels. So if you look at this parabolic move from 71 to 73, right? So it had a correction here, and then it continued. It had a run, generational run here. It fell off, and then boom. And there's one here as well. You could see the examples everywhere. But I suspect what's happening, and there's something that we were talking about in the Discord. We were talking about a few factors. So apart from the war, what we had is the huge sell-off. Of course, they still yet to bring another or print another daily sell signal because of the momentum. Yesterday could have been a margin call, end of the month, lots of profit taken. And of course, the Fed chair announcement had an impact on this because the market has more certainty. So you could, I guess, you could argue the profit taking being the end of the month. This stuff has been on a parabolic run. So 38% retracement on the Fed was pretty obvious. Is it natural rotation to Bitcoin and silver, Bitcoin and gold? It's too early to say. Monday will be. I suspect a lot of this, especially the precious metals, will continue their run a little bit, because on Monday I think silver could potentially go back to $100. So if that's the case, again, 15 trillion was erased from the paper, silver, gold, 15%. And again, they can correct that as much as that, especially gold and silver, and yet still continue. Now, a lot of this, I suspect, was the appointment of Kevin Warsh. The market's probably feeling a risk-off, a risk-on rotation at some point. Monday could be massive for the silver prices to get back to $100. So overall, Bitcoin is massively undervalued compared to, we're like a meme coin compared to gold and silver, literally. So price dipped at the time of writing is around that, but of course we broke that level, and this is the chart that we were looking at before. It was 65, an extension of the wick. The bear flag, if the bear flag plays out, low 60s, low to mid 60s, if there's other market manipulation going on, then I think the time will be right for them to send. Bitcoin is below where it was December 2024. So that's insane, just from a pure value perspective. Nice rebound of, yeah, of course, bro. It's undervalued. Thank you, Cave, bro. 50 to 60K, Ethan said, looks like be the bottom for BTC, and we'll find support and go sideways, and then have. Listen, as long as we ball out next Christmas, right? Doing slow DCAs on a weekly basis, brilliant. Into BTC at these levels, yeah. Bro, that's what, that is a beautiful way to look at this, right? But these are, look, gold is, it's ridiculous. You look at this as a natural market rotation here. It's got a strong metric, strong buy signal. And, if you look at the overall momentum of gold, right? The moving averages are saying sell, SMAs are sell, but everything else is still a buy. I think that's going to be the rotation. Once we see this slow down, then we could have an epic move on the price of Bitcoin like we've never seen before. Like a couple of days ago, I was looking at I think $1.5 trillion or something stupid came into gold within 24 hours, and the price moved. The price moved barely, right? The same amount into Bitcoin, that same capital would send the price of Bitcoin above $150,000. So the market makers are not stupid. They understand these. It's only us that get emotional. And I'm not here to tell anybody I told you so. That's not the way to look at it. But if liquidity improves and we have a new Fed chair, Trump needs all the help he can. I think they will rig this thing to go absolutely ballistic. If anything, because the US is more and more reliant on crypto to offset its national debt, right? We know the lion's share of the lion's share of these assets are going to collateralize the US debt. So it's going to be insanely important for us to be able to look at this in a holistic manner. So if you look at this, the US wants a strong crypto market for sure, and this is all you need to know. US Treasury debt. How can they kill off an industry which they are relying on to basically bring people into it? And of course, the large majority right now of RWA is concentrated around this, right? US national debt. Don't get it twisted. Don't make no mistakes about it. They are going to rig this game to produce mad winners, get people retail to FOMO in on a global scale. And of course, right now, I think it's going to be fairly obvious who's going to come out on top, because crypto in 2026 is going to be headquartered in the US. You've got to be rational about the fear. Like Ethan is saying there, it's a 38% plus discount. And then you've got an asset that is way smaller than gold and silver and most of the established assets out there. So if they see Bitcoin as that risk asset, and they move, the market moves from being risk off and having the Iran war and the liquidity picture and the Fed chair. That's all going to be like, freaking hell. The US is going to tokenize its debt. And people are going to pay for that. But yeah, that's a brilliant point. Cave said we will pump through 2028. You know what? It's not the first time you said that, and I heard it from somewhere else as well. The idea that the cycle could be extremely longer for Bitcoin and selective altcoins, that's a real thing. Market does what it's doing. The belief is that, of course, pieces get stronger. I always wonder, a change of guard in the United States, what will it do for regulation, right? If the Democrats come in, how much of the Trump policies for crypto will they reset? And I know you don't change policy because it's going to have a bipartisan agreement, right? And that's what we saw with the Clarity Act. It's been undersold, in my opinion. I think it's completely bullish, but the bigwigs don't want to give the retails the heads up to actually let them know crypto is moving to the United States of America in 2026 when Trump signs that. I think that would be a major catalyst. Yeah, facts, bro. It's being replaced real time. Big facts. Big facts, bro. Big facts, man. But you see the assets that the US is bringing in, guys, yeah? This is why I think, like, maybe some of you haven't caught this. Let me just play this back again. So a lot of the uncertainty.
If we look at the current positioning of the US Navy's aircraft carriers, it gives us a sense of the power the Americans have around the globe and what Donald Trump just may be thinking in relation to Iran. So the carrier, the USS Roosevelt, has been spotted leaving its base in San Diego in California. Now, this could be to relieve the USS Washington, which is in the Sea of Japan. It's on a permanent deployment there. And the Washington could be going back home because the Roosevelt arrives, or the Washington could actually go to the Middle East. Or maybe the Roosevelt should be heading to the Middle East itself, though it would take it a long time to get there from California. But that's what we know is happening. A second US carrier, the USS Eisenhower, has also been deployed from Norfolk in Virginia. Now, the original idea seems to have been that it would relieve the USS Ford, which is in the Caribbean. The carrier George H. Bush was in the Western Atlantic, looking as if it was preparing to do that, but that has returned to Norfolk, possibly due to a technical problem. So perhaps the Eisenhower, instead of relieving the USS Ford in the Caribbean, might be going across the Atlantic into the Mediterranean itself. The USS Ford, which was used in the operation to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, and that would normally be rotated about now, sent home. But given the events elsewhere, the US Navy may choose to leave it in position just a little while longer. And already, the USS Lincoln has arrived from the South China Sea all the way to the Arabian Gulf off the coast of Iran. And it's been conducting exercises there. And this currently forms the basis of the armada that Donald Trump has threatened Iran with. That now means that 5 of the 11 carrier strike groups the US has are now at sea on operations. And it looks as if the US wants to give itself the option of having a second or even a third carrier strike group somewhere in the region within operational reach of Iran sometime in the next week to 2 weeks. Not the least significant is the arrival from the United States of more combat aircraft. F-35s are confirmed flying via the US Air Base in the Azores, the archipelago in the North Atlantic. And F-15s appear to be on their way into the theatre as well. If the US doesn't have enough military power on station at the moment to launch a sustained attack on Iran, it's only a matter of time before it does.
Facts. So that's the backdrop of the uncertainty. And this is leading to speculation on oil prices. We saw let's have a look at the latest liquidations. I mean, at one point we saw for $100 billion. I mean, this is wild. Absolutely wild stuff. 77,000 Bitcoin, Ethereum. I mean, look, the fear and greed index is not truly reflected on, it shouldn't be 26 based on what we've seen in the last few hours. Solana $100, BNB 700, XRP 150, and of course it is all kicking off in the Middle East. ETF outflows, Bitcoin, massive ETF outflows. I mean, this was on the 30th. So that, of course, trading starts again on Monday. Monday's going to be nuts. And if we look at the futures market, I mean, the futures market, there's a lot of people that were a lot of bulls. Let me see if I can find my. He's probably got liquidated, guys. The hyperliquid whale that was short on the Trump insider news. But liquidity here, funding rate, is negative across the board. And what do we see here? Look at the market. I mean, the market cap of Bitcoin is just ridiculously small compared to the more established assets. Liquidations I got. Damn, man, Asta, bro, like insanity. Crazy amount. I mean, look at this. Wow. Some of these are mad. The longs have pretty much been cleared out. And it'd be interesting, you know, I'll probably run a report later just to check the amount that whale is lost. There is a hyperliquid whale that we've been tracking in the Discord, and his Solana position was actually 98% in liquidation a couple of days ago. So he's probably out now. So a lot of this is basic. I mean, look at this. Binance here, still dominating the exchanges, 26 billion volume. Turnover in the last 24 hours. Let's have a look at open interest. 10 billion on Binance, 5 billion on Bybit. The turnover is crazy, right? The turnover here is absolutely wild. Let's have a look at spot selling Bitcoin. We had, wow, so we came down from, that was October. October was mental, but today price from 96 basically 88, and then we started to 89. As soon as we closed the CME gap, kapow! Prices of the spot Bitcoin. So the overall, in my opinion, the picture looks absolutely brutal. Now, if the war kicks off, because obviously there's something going on in the background, if the war kicks off next week, that would speed up the eventual or the price to be bottoming before we find some kind of stability. But so far, funds flow, 7 days, 30 days, 8 billion minus. So there's crazy amount of outflows going on. Crazy. I mean, let's have a look at some of the news. On-chain finance week. Bullshit. 12-year data, Bitcoin versus gold. Well, gold's leading right now. Oh, something's wrong with the crypto bros, man. Yes, we have been more and more and more. What do you call? We've outperformed gold for sustainably long periods of time. But yeah, Cave, you're right. They will pump the markets accordingly when they want it. But let's go back to. I want to see what's going on with Ondo. Let's look at Ondo. Boy, oh boy, we're going to be buying some crazy good assets. Let's see what Ondo is doing on spot. Strong sell. I shall not sell. I shall buy. Let's just go reset this. Yes. So it's taking this out, like we were saying earlier. But on the price, man, on the weekly, on the daily, doesn't really even matter. But you notice how it's actually kind of coming and has hit its. That's a good sign, potentially. Because as these kind of Ondo will be, I think in the next 5 years, by 2030, this will be established kind of top, I don't know, top 20, top 30 projects. I think this will be one of the largest RWA plays in the market. And what I'm seeing here, so this is the October candle. And you've got to check for many of the, this was in October. This is what a lot of these cryptocurrencies have been struggling with. Because even the fact that we had these chart inefficiencies, we still had this candle. But Ondo seemed to have dipped to 25 cents. Ondo's a good long-term watch because a lot of the derivatives are going to play through. Now, most of you will look at this purely from a market cap perspective. And I would say wait, of course, you get a dip below $1 billion. The unlocks now look to be all out because they not all the tokens, but at least the next unlock is now done. So until next January, we go again. But outstanding supply is still a lot. But this is one that I would love to see below, in the short term, below $1 billion. If the market continues, then we want to see this go slightly lower, get it below 20 cents if we can, and then sit tight on it, because I think it would be a kind of relatively straightforward 10x when the market eventually picks up. And you can see here, look, the only thing that's strong is the market cap, because they've obviously added to the circulation. So the market cap has stayed consistent. It's high pumping. Holy crap. Yeah, maybe it's just coming back to from the dead, right? Hyperliquid down Yeah, it literally came into, that's the market cap. Let's look at the price. Yeah, it did actually, it did set off $21. It's January 21st. Yeah, 6 billion though. I mean, it is a very, very good project. But this is going to be one that I would say goes into your bear market hit list. Super short on BTC, even though I want to flip bullish. Yeah, I think, look, bullish or bearish, I think what's ahead of us right now, we haven't seen the signs to be bullish from a liquidity perspective, right? So if we look at the macro ain't saying anything bullish. I mean, if you look at my macro takes that I give to the group, most of the time you just see, look at the stuff I'm talking about. I mean, this is what you need, like Japanese bond market that hasn't all of a sudden disappeared. Um, uh, Major market warnings, market warning again. Last week's call, there's a guy, he just DM'd me in my group. He's a big macro guy, and he made, honestly, he made a generational bag with some of the macro stuff that I posted, and he was thanking me and stuff, because here's what you need in terms of clarity going into the week, right? So this was my post last Sunday. Macro warning the week ahead. So this was the Greenland one, but there was another one that I did last week that, honestly, this was like everything just cooking together. Um, and this guy obviously he took that and ran with it, and congratulations to him. He was basically highlighting in that report, what the potential implications were going to be from a macro perspective if we see the following. And I think the following was the government shutdown threat. We saw when they lifted the news, we temporarily pumped the situation in Iran, um, the situation in, we had few specific economy based news. So all of that came into play, and he shorted the market like a king. So, you know, big up to the brother, and I will continue to dump the macro stuff into the Discord for the community, because I think without it, like without the implications of knowing who the new Fed is, you're not going to guess what his policies are, right? So we did a piece on Kevin Warsh, I believe, the guy who was initially appointed by George W. Bush, and then into the Fed, and of course Morgan Stanley background and all of that. But the market really likes this guy. This guy is not like Powell. Powell is a technocrat, right? Powell is as straight as you get. These are the facts, like it or lump it, and I'm not going to draw anything into it. This guy's got more personality. He has big ties to Trump, comes from a billionaire background. I think his wife is the heiress to the Estee Lauder fortune, which is billions and billions of dollars. He's been Trump's economic advisor to the Far East, and he was Trump's favorite for the last Fed chair when he appointed Powell, and it's something that he always regretted. So rather than looking at the short term, if you actually zoom out, because if you're, let's say we get 60, well, let's say we get 54, whatever the bear market levels are, right? That represents buying opportunities. On the flip side, if the markets were just to reverse and go somewhere that we don't, obviously nobody can predict what's going on, but if they were to reverse, then you do have an element of risk exposure. But that's your core beliefs, right? You're not gonna. The faster this drops, yeah, like Peter said, the better. But this guy, one of the reasons why gold crashed was because of this guy. This guy's going to be, look, it's hard to say now. Will he be his own man? Will he be, of course, Trump was caught out yesterday. He was like, yeah, Fed independence. But you have to remember, sometimes you got to read between the lines. And I specifically did the research on his ideology, ties to Trump, because that really matters. And he's been an advisor to Trump. He pushed Powell very closely back in 2017. And then Trump publicly later regretted this entire decision of appointing Powell instead of Warsh. Strategic advisor, served as his policy forum in the late 2016-17. A group of business leaders assembled to advise Trump on the economy. The Louder connection. So he's got a personal link to Trump, of course, longtime friends. Social access, that's going to be quite key because they're going to rig the markets, right? Pivot on interest rates. Inflation hawk, favoring higher rates. Warsh has recently aligned himself more closely with Trump's preference of a lower interest rate. And that's going to be quite interesting. He publicly argued that the Fed should have cut rates sooner, several times. Views that mirror the Trump, of course, as opposed to why, Powell is completely, like I said, I've got nothing against Powell. I have plenty of respect for him. I think he's a brilliant, he's a respectable man at what he does. But the market doesn't need that. Kevin Warsh on crypto, he is known to be Bitcoin friendly, has previously argued that cryptocurrencies should be sustainable store of value like gold, and he's aligned with Trump administration on the broader embrace of crypto. He also believes in deregulation. He's a longtime advocate for reform there, including banking supervision, and of course, what do we know about him? He is a financier by background. He's an executive who served at the Federal Board of Reserve from 2006 under Bush to 2011. And he's been on the Board of Governors from 2006 onwards. Of course, during his tenure, he represented a group of 20, the G20 Board of Emissaries for the Federal Reserve. And so, yeah, this guy is going to be super interesting. The market will obviously look forward to what he does in May. And before that, I think we'll hear some noises as to what happens. And Patriot said, look, both Warsh and Besson are traders. The faster the recovery, it's not in the last bear market. Yeah, I think because this has been a prolonged bear market in the sense of the word. It's been a Bitcoin-led market. So, yeah, man. So Trump looks like he's got his man, and we will see how this pans out. But it looks like he's a very, very capable guy that the markets absolutely love. So happy shopping, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna cut it here, but stay strong, man. Think of better things ahead in the next couple of years, and wishing you a lovely, 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 speedy recovery to every single one of us who's down. And always remember, man, there's brighter days ahead. This is the markets, and things change pretty fast. Good night, guys. Smash a like on your way out, man. Let's get some likes to support the stream. But God bless you all, man. Take care. Peace, brother. Yeah, I'll speak to you soon, bro. Take care. Cheers, lad.